A very good afternoon to all. So, today we shall quickly deliberate on the topic in front of you. This is a very important point of discussion because it talks about innovation and the economic impact that innovation can have. So, if you have looked through your syllabus copy, you will understand there is a topic which says macroeconomic view of innovation. Let's understand something. Innovation is always the driver of economic growth. Based on the fundamentals of economics that you've studied as part of your first semester, you understand that all business decisions can take place at a microeconomic level. Individual dealers, buyers, suppliers, the company themselves, customers. At the same time, it takes place at a macroeconomic level as well. You can look at the government, you can look at the competitors, you can look at the global competitive landscape. So when you look at macroeconomic view of innovation, you've got to understand that innovation spurs economic growth and has been doing so across the globe. Innovation is the production of new varieties of products, higher qualities of products and services. This is an active business decision taken by a lot of firms because let's understand something. As long as the microeconomic position of organizations improve, it has a direct and resounding impact on the macroeconomic growth of not only the industry but the country overall. See, government policies are there. If you aren't aware, I strongly urge you to go and look up Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision on innovation for India. I hope you are aware, or if you are not, kindly find out. There is an India Innovation Fund sponsored by the government at the central level and the state level, which gives you huge incentives for R&D, huge incentives to develop new solutions, to develop new products to solve people's problems. So there's an interesting theory behind this which is called the endogenous growth theory. In simple words, endogenous growth means long-term growth for a country, the gross domestic product, gross national product, net national product, whatever terms you'd like to use, is always driven by innovation. So let's never ever forget, innovation drives long term growth for a country and its economy. Innovation activities contribute not only to regional growth. Now, when I say macroeconomic growth, I am saying growth of the entire country. But please understand, it also develops regions. I hope you know, if you have read the newspaper, Bengaluru is the home for startups. It's one of the most reputed startup hubs of India. Of course, other states like Kerala, other states like Maharashtra, Pune, Bombay, etc., are slowly picking up steam. But this innovative mindset has led to the growth of Bangalore as a city in Karnataka, the state. It's also driven growth of the periphery, the supplementary vendors, the suppliers, the buyers, the people that contribute towards these innovations, and ultimately it has driven growth for the economy. So please understand, the country's economy, the macro economy, is only as strong as two things. One could be our technological infrastructure, and the innovative capabilities of the country truly are going to impact the economy. I do agree. You look at the last point, it says there are a lot of problems and questions regarding measurement of innovation. Well, innovation is a new mindset developed over the span of barely the last 50 years, 60 years, truly making it commercial. So there are a lot of problems and questions which we will slowly try and iron out as our discussions progress further. So when you say macroeconomic development and innovation, the connecting factor is going to be your research and development. Countries' economies, the governments of respective countries are shelling out huge money for R&D. It's because the right kind of R&D expenditure, the right kind of R&D personnel, patenting new technology and selling the technology to countries across the world is going to bring in a huge flow of income into the economy, thereby giving it a huge boost. When you look at the approaches to innovation or the different techniques or strategies, see, we'll try and connect this with economy as well, but I just want you to carefully read through these points. Continuous product and process improvement is something which a lot of companies do in countries across the globe. It says you take a product, don't just be happy with the normal part of it, keep renewing it, keep evolving it, keep refreshing it, replenishing it, change processes, and this is what is going to drive innovation. Good example is for all of us guys here, if you looked at Gillette and their series of razors. I mean, I remember as a little kid, you had a Gillette razor that came with a blade in it, but those times are dead. Today's Gillette razor actually is electronic. It comes with a battery inside it, comes with aloe vera gel on the strips, and it's an absolute pleasure to shave with that razor. So you see, that's a continuous product improvement. Processes, I've given you the example of State Bank of India and how they have continuously improved their processes. Improving product design, your good old Maruti 800 is a classic example. Changing the business model. So I've given you the example of companies like Netflix and Amazon. I'll give you further an example of new startups like, say, for example, Ghana, Spotify, etc. Their business model is very unique. You can listen to free music, you can listen to as many types of music as you want, but it's for a limited period of time, post which you need to pay for a subscription. So that's a new unique business model. It's called the freemium business model. Initially free, then you charge a premium. Fine. Using new technologies to add value to an existing product and service. You are observing this happening in the case of the dairy sector. There are many startups and many companies who have taken good old milk, curds, cheese, paneer, etc. and added an online supply chain for it using app-based technology. So that's using new technology and you're adding value to an existing product. Exploiting new technology to create a new product or service. So this in light of what is going on now, the whole COVID-19 global pandemic, you can see that Government of India itself has been very innovative. In order to trace people around you, in order to keep you and your family safe, they have come out with a whole new technology altogether. One example is the Arogya Setu app. That's a new service by itself. So they're using drone-based technology and mobile telecommunications technology to keep families safe. As I said, sources of innovation, of course, is going to be R&D, because firms look at acquiring R&D from other countries, firms look at buying machinery, equipment, software. They work with other countries through something called cooperative R&D. Then you have something called market pull and R&D push. So if a new customer demand emerges, this leads towards the growth of many more companies, many more startups, increased revenue into the economy and overall economic growth. So some continuous innovations may emerge, incremental innovations may emerge, product innovations may emerge, process innovations may emerge. But quickly look at the second statement here, which says research and development push. So R&D is one of the strongest drivers of growth for any economy, and R&D push leads to generating new markets, bringing in more money and implementing that in the market. So this makes a lot of sense for countries looking at giving that boost to their economy. Why innovation, macroeconomical, economical importance is simply because if the economy and the country truly decide, they can offer guidance to their inventors, they can offer guidance to people who creating intellectual property, allows entrepreneurs to come together, looks at applying this intellectual property in a real world parlance, increases the awareness of people, and all this, ladies and gentlemen, has an indirect impact on the economy. So always, whatever slide I'm talking to you about, look at the connection here, please. Most important. We've spoken about this already in the innovation process, if you remember. When you are innovating something and trying to get an idea and make it into a commercial product, you generate ideas, you convert those ideas, you try getting funding, develop them into products, services, or practices, and then diffuse them. So, diffusion of innovation is not just relevant within the country. A country truly producing a world class innovation can diffuse this across the globe. And by diffusing it across the globe, it is creating new channels of revenue for its own economy. A point we will talk about